Again, my name is Tom Camillo. I'm the Director of Admissions at Gann University. And really want to talk to you a little about an opportunity that hopefully you'll have a chance to explore at some point in time during your high school career. It's called a dual enrollment program. How many people are familiar with dual enrollment? Handful? Great. That's great. So basically this is an opportunity for you to take college courses while you're currently still in high school. It has benefits on both sides of the coin, really. You know, on the Gannon side of thing, for us, we look at it as a wonderful recruitment opportunity, a chance to have some great students come to Gannon, take classes while you're still high school students, hopefully have a good experience and say, you know what, I want to consider Gannon as an opportunity for a school I might want to continue on for my college career. And certainly that's what we hope for. We want to make sure that you have those opportunities, those positive experiences. But we also want to instill with you some great confidence that you can do this. You may be sitting as a high school sophomore or junior as time goes on type of thing and saying, well, I don't know if college is for me, or I don't know, I'm a little nervous, I'm scared, I'm intimidated, whatever it could be. All feelings that we've all felt or will feel as time goes on. And suddenly you have that chance to take that class and you get that A. And you're like, wow, this is something that I can succeed at. And suddenly it opens up some doors for you as far as that goes as well. You know, at Gannon, we try to encourage students to take courses that are going to be good no matter where you decide to go to school. So obviously, again, we're excited for you to have that Gannon experience, but we know that not everyone is going to come to Gannon when it's all said and done. So we want to make sure you're taking courses that are going to be relevant for you and it can apply and go elsewhere. So courses like college composition, where you're doing a lot of English writing, those type of things that every school is going to require of you. We want you to take courses like that. Other courses like a history course, it could be public speaking course, things like that that are going to be relevant, they're going to be needed for all degrees that you're interested in, and are going to be good for you to wherever you go. Those are things that we consider and want you to explore as time goes on. But you're not limited to that. You may be stellar at math. You might have a great passion for something else and say, you know what, I wouldn't mind taking a course in one of those areas to see if that's what I want to do with my life. We have a lot of introduction courses, like Introduction to Criminal Justice, Introduction to something else type of thing. That might be something you might want to take, and we certainly can try to work with you to get you to take those types of courses and have that experience and see if that is something that's going to be a worthwhile fit for you as well. So that's one of the great benefits, again, of having that experience of a dual enrollment student, is that it doesn't have to end right with that classroom experience. Certainly you're going to have chances to talk, because you're going to be in a classroom, not just as high school students, set aside and saying this is your class. You're going to be mixed in with full-time Gannon students who are there seeking degrees at Gannon. No one's going to know who's who, but you're going to have a chance to interact and see, and ask questions as to what they're pursuing as far as their academic degrees go. You're going to have a chance to talk to that teacher before and after class, or engage with other individuals at Gannon too, to ask them continued questions about career paths, things that may be on your mind. Again, as time goes on, it might be now, or as you guys get older, as 16-year-olds, there's probably lots of things going through your head right now. You may have an idea what you want to do, but you're in the same breath, you may wake up some morning and be like, you know what, I might want to be a nurse, but I think I want to be a mechanical engineer, and I like to write, and I'm really interested in art, and all those type of things, and you have no idea which way you're going to go with your degree. And that's perfectly fine. We want you to ask questions, and we want to go through that process, and that dual enrollment process helps you have a little bit more level of engagement and figure out, are those things going to work out for you? Are they going to be helpful for you? Again, you're not limited to just that. So obviously you work things out with your schools and how that works out and when you're on campus and those type of things. But if you have some windows, you have some opportunities and say, okay, great, my class was from 9 o'clock until 9:50, and I don't get it back on the bus to go back to my school for another 15, 20 minutes. What are you going to do at that time? Maybe you want to go walk down the hallway and talk to a professor involved in criminal justice, or someone who's involved in engineering or education or some other program, and start having those conversations about things that are in your mind and things you might be interested in. And that's really what we're there for. We want to work with you. We want to make sure that you're getting the best out of that experience and how that works for you. So that's kind of a high level, broad level of what the experience is all about. But it's something that we encourage you to certainly consider. So at Gannon, how the program works is it's something that you cannot take classes as a dual enrollment student until you get into your junior year, or sometimes you allow students who are finishing up their sophomore years going into their junior year of high school to take those courses over the summertime leading into junior year. So that's an opportunity of when we can start exploring those types of things. You certainly work in conjunction with your high schools as well as us as to what courses are approved, what courses you're allowed to take, what time those courses take place, all those types of things. A great benefit to being a part of the program that you're a part of is if you are in the program, staying in the program and doing well and continuing on in the program, and Gannon is going to offer you right now initially at least one free dual enrollment course at Gannon. So again, if you continue to do what you're doing well with this program, that opportunity is going to exist for you when you go to take that first dual enrollment course. And again, this is our first time we're talking about this experience. Who knows how that could change and what that may look like moving forward. That ends up being multiple courses. So that's incentive for you to stay doing well in the program. But if it say just ends up being just that one individual course, we really reduce the rate that students pay to come to Gannon for dual enrollment because we know again it's just something that's it's asking a lot of families and it's an experience that we want to make sure that's not a detriment to you, that's holding you back. So students are only paying $100 per college credit. So a typical college course is 3 credits, so we say a typical course is about $300. In comparison, a normal rate, that course is close to about $2,000 if you're a full-time student at Gannon. So you're getting a tremendous reduced rate and opportunity again to get college experience, also get a grade and a course that could eventually transfer and be used for graduation someplace else down the road. So again, there's lots of benefits to it as far as that goes. The process is pretty seamless. So I handed out to everybody, there's an application that hopefully everybody has, and then there's an insert that goes in there called the Authorization Form. The application is basically just kind of asking for your biographical information. So it's asking for your name, address, where do you go to school, when you're going to graduate from school, those types of things, so that we can kind of get you in our database as students and hopefully communicate with you as well. So it's not just finding out about, your interest in dual enrollment, but you have a chance to put down there and say, you know what, I'm also interested in going to medical school. All right, well, we can start mailing you some things, emailing you some things that may be of interest to you as time goes on, so that you're not only considering dual enrollment, but you're also being shared information about other things you might be interested in. So again, this is a pretty quick form, take you 5 minutes to fill out, pretty easy to do as far as that goes. The authorization form really becomes important. You work in conjunction with not only your families, but your guidance counselors as well at school, because you're going to then put down, hey, these are courses I'd like to take, and these are the courses, the times I'd like to be able to take these courses, because I've been approved by school to get out of school from 8 to 10 in the morning. So these are the times I can take these courses type of thing as far as that goes. And it's important to put down alternatives too when you're looking at that as time goes on, because again, we're not setting aside specific classes for you, or we're not segregating you in any way, shape, or form. You're being mixed in with the Gannon student body, so they're registering for the same courses. So sometimes courses can fill up. So we want to make sure we have alternatives there for you. So if your first option is full, we can certainly look at that second option for you, or the third option, those type of things as far as that goes. But basically, all it takes is those 2 forms. And then ultimately, again, if that first course is free, fantastic. If you're looking for multiple courses and there's that fee associated with it, you just pay that fee, and we work with you closely from there as far as that goes. Again, it's truly a true college experience. That's what we want out of that, for you to be on campus, to be engaging, to be interacting, and finding out, is this something that is interest to you, and where do you want to go from there as far as that goes. So that was a mouthful in a short amount of time, which I could talk a lot more, but any quick questions as far as that goes? So are you taking dual enrollment courses right now? Yeah. We're half taking a course? Okay. Does anybody know anybody that's taking courses? Help us experience that. Okay, so talk to them as well. Talk to them, if you meet someone in your high school who is a junior or a senior who has experienced those courses. What was it like? Does that take away any fears you may have, or any concerns you may have as far as that goes? But again, the idea is that we're working with you. We want to see you succeed. We want to see you have that opportunity. Another thing I want to talk about this morning that kind of goes along with some of the things that were talked about, where you guys are building a profile on Common App, and certainly doing things like this certainly help add to your profile and certainly make you attractive to schools as far as that goes as well. Can show that you can do that coursework, and may help your chances as far as getting admitted to schools or into a specific program you're interested in down the road. But another thing too is you talk about the financial factor. And how that plays a role in your college experience, and maybe how that impacts what you may be looking at when you're looking at schools. For you guys who are going into your freshman year of high school, and for everyone else who is currently in a high school, I highly encourage you to check out a website called raise.me. Raise.me is a place where you can build micro scholarships to really help you understand how you could possibly afford college education. And it rewards you for great things that you're doing. So each school, and this is across the country, whether you're large like University of California, Los Angeles, small like Gannon, or anywhere in between type of thing, all these schools are going to have profiles out there as to what you're looking for in an ideal college applicant. And they're going to reward you for things that you do. So for instance, at Gannon, we'd like to see that you're doing things with leadership. Taking courses like this and being part of programs like this, that you're involved in community service, that you're doing successful in your coursework, those type of things. So each time you achieve something and you go out there in your profile and you add that on there, you're going to be presented with us by that school and saying, great, you just got an A in that class, here's $500 micro scholarship as far as that goes. And so it'll keep on adding up. So the earlier you build that profile, so again, if you're going to be a freshman in high school next year, you have a greater chance to build that profile early on. But the earlier you build that profile, the more money you will be presented with as time goes on. And eventually, the key thing is that money is going to be guaranteed. So if Gannon says to you, hey, you've earned $11,000 in micro scholarships each year for a total of $44,000 during your time at Gannon, at the very least, you're going to get that kind of merit scholarship. Oftentimes, though, schools are going to try to exceed that as well. So when you do apply to a school, so if you apply to Gannon and we say, hey, I see you've done all these great things in school, great academics, great test scores, all these type of things, well, I want to award you $16,000 a year instead. It won't be both awards on top of each other, but Gannon's going to have a chance to award you more money as well. And you'll see lots of schools do that as well. The key thing about this, though, is it's suddenly going to open up all kinds of doors for you. Again, we talked about at the beginning, I'd love to have everyone come to Gannon, but I want you to see what is out there for you. See what opportunities exist for you and maybe what things you maybe want to explore. So there might be schools you've never heard of before who are suddenly saying, hey, I see you're doing all these things that really kind of line up with what we look for in a student, and we're awarding you dollars, and you might want to explore that school a little bit further. You might want to check out their website, see what they're all about. You might want to eventually, as time goes on, go to a visit, convince mom and dad or somebody to take you on a drive there type of thing and see what that school is all about. So that's a great opportunity, and I encourage all of you to do that because, again, it's money that doesn't go away. These schools have agreed as partners with Raise.me that micro scholarships that you're earning is how you get those things too. So again, don't think of it that it doesn't apply to you in any way, shape, or form, because every little thing that you do somehow, some way could possibly earn a micro scholarship for you. Again, some schools value the fact that you visited campus, some schools value the fact that you're doing service, some schools really want to put a lot of stock on your grades. Every little step that you take, put that back out there and you can start to see what you're being exposed to and what you're eligible for as far as that goes. Questions about that at all? Yes?
Okay, that's my first question.
No.
Where does that money come from?
Sure. So the question is, where does that money come from? So basically, each school typically has a budget as to how much financial aid we can award each year. So we know, okay, great, if we already earmark those dollars, we already know that's coming as planned part of our budget type of thing as far as that goes. So the same thing goes for all these schools. They know that money is going to be used for scholarship dollars, and they will put a limit on that. Certainly, so if they say, okay, the maximum amount we could possibly award a student is $17,000, they're not going to let you go above and beyond that, but they at least can say, okay, great, we've already kind of set that money aside so these students can know that money is confidently there. So, yeah, but it's not coming from raise, it's not coming from anywhere else, it's coming specifically from the institutions. That's why I caution saying, okay, so some students today who are seniors in high school who have applied to Gannon may have already been presented by raise and saying they've earned $12,000 from Gannon. But then they get their acceptance letter from Gannon and it says, actually you've earned $18,000. It's not a total of $30,000. They're going to get that higher amount of $18,000 type of thing too. But again, it's still opening up some doors for you and realizing what possibly exists for you. Yeah. So don't look at it as a bad thing too if you're a junior or senior that think that you're not having a chance to do that. You certainly have plenty of time to go back out there now, develop those profiles. You can add some things in and you can accomplish a lot in this next year as far as that kind of stuff goes too, to make yourself eligible for some aid and scholarships. Again, and these types of things too, participation in the Enrollment Program, the program that you're involved in today, are certainly valued and certainly looked upon positively by those schools as well. Other things, anything I didn't cover at all that you were hoping to cover? Too short, too quick?
Maybe what are the typical classes?
Sure.
Common popular classes for enrollment?
Sure. So at Gannon, typically regardless of the degree you're going to achieve, all students have to complete what's called a liberal core. Not all college and universities abide by something like that, but most schools typically have a common core of courses that they require all students to take to help them make them more well-rounded individuals. So that way you don't just leave school and all you know is this thermodynamics or all you know is about anatomy and physiology, but you don't know how to talk before an audience, you don't know how to write a paper, you don't know how to do other things as far as that goes. So they have you take a lot of those type of things as far as that goes. So again, you see a lot of students taking college composition, so you learn how to start doing research, writing papers, public speaking. We have History Without Borders course, philosophy courses, Introduction to Psychology, Sociology, pretty common courses that students are interested in. So that is where you see a vast majority of students taking courses at Gannon. Again, we're not limited to that though as well. So if you have an idea, you have ambitions, or you're really interested in math, you can take Calculus 1. We have a student this semester taking electrical engineering and circuits course because that's something he's interested in. He wants to make sure that's what he wants to do before he jumps into that major as far as that goes too. So really no limitations on that other than sometimes the course may have a prerequisite. So if you want to take a really high level course because it sounds pretty cool. Hey, I want to take, I don't know, some sort of mechanical engineering course type of thing. That's a 300 level course. It might say, well, you need to have all these courses before that before you can take this course. So we're going to make sure that we're doing the smart things for you and putting you in a good situation versus a bad situation. Yes?
Could I take courses that my high school wouldn't offer, like computer programming or something, to kind of broaden my horizons, what I'm interested in?
Absolutely. So yeah, correct. So as long as that course, has that introductory, doesn't have a lot of requirements to it, certainly is open to students as far as that goes too. So typically, if as time goes on, again, if you're a junior or sophomore, going to be a junior, and juniors and seniors now, you can see online, you can look at course booklets and those type of things, what's being offered. At Gannon and most schools are going to, what we call levels. There's 100 level, 200 level, 300 level, 400 level courses. If it's a 100 level course, like 101, 111, those type of things, pretty safe course to take, doesn't have a prerequisite to it. If it has a higher level, then you might want to look at, is that going to have a requirement for it as far as that goes too. Now there's other ways you can advance yourself as well. So you guys if you're challenging yourself now and you're taking AP classes, if you decide to take that AP exam, the AP exams can equal college credit as Gannon as well. So typically if you get a 3 or higher on those AP exams, that might, so if you take the English language AP exam, that could equal that college composition course. Suddenly that allows you to take a second level course or something else as well. So there's other ways to have yourself advance through that program as well. Yes?
Is there a limit on levels for dual enrollment students?
So the only limit is the number of courses you can take. So as a junior, you can take 2 classes. As a senior, you're allowed to take up to 3 courses per semester. So eventually, we have seen some students graduate with close to 30 credits and dual enrollment credits already completed type of thing. So again, that's an opportunity where huge financial windfall if a student has done everything right and they can somehow graduate a semester early. But suddenly it could open up a lot more doors for you as far as that goes as well. So if you take multiple courses during your time in high school, by the time you get to college, you may have a chance to do a learning abroad experience. You may have enough credits where you say, you know what, I can spend a semester at sea type of thing as far as that goes. We might want to pursue a minor or a double major or those type of things too. So by taking a lot of our courses in the dual enrollment program, suddenly those things can open up for you as well. We've also seen some students who take that advantage of that by taking courses in high school, and so their college experience is suddenly not as stressful. So you might have some high-level majors, or maybe a student's going to go to medical school. So they have a couple semesters where they have 3 science classes and labs, and there's a lot of work going on. But now, because they've done some dual enrollment courses, they can actually strip that down and say, I only need to take 2 sciences and labs this semester because I'm on target to graduate in time. So there's lots of ways that is a benefit for you. But I don't know if I answered your question or not, but as far as limitations, no. As long as you have the prerequisites, you're allowed to take those courses, and then ultimately if it fits into your class schedule, you're allowed to take those as far as that goes too. Yes?
I was looking into like the courses that are offered and we have a sign language class and it's a 300 class.
Correct.
Why is it 300 class?
Why is it a 300 level course? Probably because it's not something where they're going to jump right into it. So there's probably some expectation that a student has some history with that sign language, that it's not their first introduction to it. So that they're going, from the day one, they're going to start running into it and saying, okay, I have some expectation that these students can do some sort of basic communication. Because there's only 2 sign language classes, so there's a lot being condensed into that full year that they're probably hoping that students have some sort of base to it. So
Would someone who wants to do dual enrollment be able to do that?
you would be able to do that, correct? Yep, yeah. They probably, would probably want to have a conversation to make sure that you're fully aware of what the expectations were, so you weren't overwhelmed, but you would be able to do that. Yeah. So just because it does not have any other courses to take before that. Other things. Good questions. I'm going to leave here my business cards. If you guys ever have questions, if you go home and talk to your parents have questions, they want to call, they want to email, happy to help out. If you're looking to take courses this coming summer, the summer booklets are already available, so you can already see online the summer courses that are available for you. It's typically pretty small and it's tough. Sometimes it's tough to take dual enrollment courses because the first session takes place while you're still currently in high school, so it doesn't really overlap well with your high school schedule. The second session begins towards the end of June and runs into July, and the last one goes from July to August type of thing. And they're usually 6 weeks long, so that's an opportunity for you. If not, you're looking for next fall. Typically by mid to late March, we'll have the fall schedules. And I will ship those to the high schools, and they'll have those in their hands. So at that point in time, the high schools typically will make announcements and say, hey, these things are available to us. Feel free to stop to the office, collect them, and start the process as far as that goes. Okay. Thanks, guys. Keep up the good work. Appreciate it.